from Mike Moser. If you watch my videos, Mike comes up a lot. It's a fictional user that I've created, so this is something ticket that I've created. It's a ticket that comes up fairly often in a help desk environment. Always assign a ticket to yourself first to get credit. Lost my Excel file. Please help. I can't find my Excel. I need this file back to do my work. So here's an example of typical example, I should say, of lost file. It could be Excel, it could be anything else. So I would get a hold of Mike's computer, and since I know Mike, I'm just going to reach out to him over the IM or instant messenger, or I would call him and talk to him. And for those reasons, I'm not going to do the typical thing where I reply to the customer and say, hello, my name is Irvin with PC support. I have your ticket about missing Excel file. Can you please provide a computer? Can you please send me your computer name or IP address so that I can take a look? So I've talked about this many times, and I went ahead and typed it in anyways. I mean, repetition is the key, right? Especially if it's somebody you've never talked to. And I'm just going to leave it at that and wait for the customer to respond. Again, if they send you a computer name or IP address, you can connect to them using remote tools like Dameware that I have here, or some other tools that your company provides to you if you're allowed to. If you're allowed to. Some help desk, tier 1 help desk people are not necessarily allowed to use remote tools, but you can do this. You can also send them a link that they can click to create a session that will allow you to take control of their computer so you can look for these missing files. Okay, so first thing first. If it's on your computer, where are the most likely missing files going to be? In the recycle bin, right? You see there is a recycle bin here. Let me minimize the ticketing system. Recycle bin, first thing, look in the recycle bin. If it's there, right click it, restore. Done. Next thing, usually people save things in their documents. Look in documents, see if there's a folder in there that they may have moved things to. Let's say this is the new text document or Excel. Let's say any of these. It's just a file. Let's say they accidentally dragged it into here and they can't find it. That could be it. That could be the problem. So look for potential places where a person may have moved it. They could have even moved it accidentally into root of C. This is the C drive of your computer. Anywhere. So these are the things you can look through to see if you can find them. You can restore deleted. You can restore deleted files if you have restore point activated on your computer. Not necessarily super successful, but if you right click any folder and go to properties, let's say we know that the file was inside of Zoom folder here, and then you can click previous versions, and then in here you may have folders listed, which this is part of Windows Restore. If you don't have Windows Restore enabled on your computer, then it's going to be like this. It's going to be nothing. But if you have Windows Restore and you have a copy of it, which probably might be a copy from like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, depends how often Windows Restore saves these things, there will be a folder in here, and then you select open and then find it in there and just select restore. That pretty much covers it. You can open their Excel and see what's going on inside and see if maybe the path has been moved. Just open up like Excel. I don't have Excel installed on my computer here. I'm sorry. Maybe I do. Do I have Excel? Yeah, I guess I have. Well, this is the web version of Excel. Anyways, you know how you guys, whenever you open up something and you see history of it, and then you can look to see if maybe this is how they accessed it. Maybe it was just like a, maybe it was just some kind of a link that they were using to something that was maybe stored online somewhere. Maybe it was a short, maybe it was, I'm sorry, maybe it was a shared Excel file. Maybe, see if you click here on shared or something like that, just look for these things. When it comes to naming things inside of any program, it's going to be very, very similar. Whether it's my recent, shared, favorites, or all, it's going to be very similar. So look for these things. If it's a shared document, maybe the person who shared this Excel file stopped sharing it. Ask all these questions. Again, we're talking about multiple possibilities of things. And of course, well, what I'm also going to show you is Office 365. Very important. Let me just pull that up and I'm going to get back to you. Okay, so here's our Office 365. Remember the guy's name was Mike Moser. If we go to users in Office 365, Office 365 should have a copy of everything that you do stored inside of OneDrive, which is Microsoft's basically extra storage where it keeps all of your files. So the guy's name was Mike Moser. We're going to click on him. All right, here he is. And then we're going to go to OneDrive. Remember, I said all your files are stored in your OneDrive. So if we go to OneDrive, and I apologize, I lost a lot of licenses for this. I already made tons of these Office 365 videos, and those licenses were valid for 90 days. And I apologize, it's no longer here, but I do have a video, and I'm going to try to find a clip and insert it on how to show you here how this is recovered. I'm going to look for that and just do that instead of showing you here what it looks like when the licenses are expired. All right, I'm going to insert that now. Calls in and she says, I've deleted my Excel document. And here it is. It's just called book. So we're going to delete it here. But you know what? Let's do one better. We're just going to go to her OneDrive and kind of give you a better visual of what's going on. So here is Sally's, all of her files, right? This is all of her documents that she has saved. So in this presentation, we're going to delete just this one here that it's called Book XLS. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and rename it. We're going to name it File We Are Going to Delete. Okay, we're going to rename it that. So now that we have this file created to keep track of us, we're going to delete it intentionally. We're going to select it. We're going to delete it. So let's say Sally accidentally deletes this, right? And it's deleted. And then first thing you can ask her, hey, have you checked the recycle bin? If she says, I don't know what that is, even though it's right here, and it's okay, it happens sometimes, then we can restore it for her on her behalf. So if she goes into recycle bin, let's do F5 here, and it refreshes it, right? You can see that it's there. But then in her situation, maybe it could have been a thing where she just had to refresh it and then she didn't see it. It doesn't matter. We are here to help the customer. We're going to help Sally recover this. So we see that it's a recycle bin, but if you can't help her navigate to this point, then that's fine. She could have also clicked empty recycle bin, which will empty her recycle bin, and then you cannot restore it for her. However, in that case, I will show you what to do. You can still recover it even if she empties her recycle bin. But let's just do this. She deleted it on accident, and then now it's in recycle bin, but she doesn't know how to do it. That's okay. I'm going to say, Sally, it's okay. We're going to do it for you. And here's Sally here in our active users. If you don't know how to get to this, you go to Microsoft 365 Admin Center, select users, let this expand, select active users, and all I did here was type in Sally Moe, or you can just simply pick her from here, or you can just search for her. It doesn't matter. We're going to select Sally here, and then in order to recover anything that's in her OneDrive, all of our documents are going to be in OneDrive, stored in OneDrive, unless it's shared documents that we're going to talk about as part of this video on SharePoint. All of her personal documents are going to be in OneDrive for her personally. And then to recover it for her, or to basically see the recycle bin on her behalf, right? We're going to do it for her. We're going to click on OneDrive here, and where it says get access to files, we're going to create a link that will take us to her OneDrive that we have access to on her behalf. So, and if we click create link to files, it's going to create a website link, and it says here create a link to view and edit Sally Mo's OneDrive files, right? Self-explanatory. So we're going to click create a link. So this may take a little bit to process, and sometimes not, but in this case, we're just going to just click on it, or you can copy paste this link somewhere else. But you notice this is just a, HTTPS. I mean, it's a secure link to the SharePoint OneDrive that's web-based, right? Cloud-based, web-based, whatever you want to call it. So to see it, what's going on in her OneDrive, we're going to click on this link or copy paste it. And here is exactly what she sees, right? Right? This is exactly where she is. She has that one document, that got one presentation, and we see that as well. Now, normally we would have a link to a recycle bin here where we would click it, but in some situations, and this is important to know, that recycle bin may not show up like this, but it's supposed to show up here, that there's another way to go about this. And for this, here's the segue, guys. We have to go to the SharePoint Admin Center. Okay, here's our home for SharePoint, and this is where we're going to access all of her stuff, right? So in order to get to it, we have to click on, let me just re-minimize this. We're going to click on more features here, right? This is going to be there. It's not going to be in these menus for some reason, but it's definitely going to be under more features. And if we look to the right, it says here user profiles. So we're going to click on open. And what this is going to show us is something very similar that you see in regular Active Directory for our Windows server. Very, very similar looking. And for those reasons, we're going to just use common sense here, right? So if you're in here and then you are going to make changes for the user, well, what is it that you need to do? If you look, the first thing it says manage user properties. Nah, that's not really it. Those are like permissions and stuff. Manage user profiles. So what are these things that people are logging into, right? Think about this. And I want to teach you in this way. This is person's profiles, and especially considering that it's all web-based or cloud-based. So everybody that's part of this Microsoft 365 has a profile, right? And these are their profiles, and we're going to manage it just like we tried to manage it through here, but it failed, and that's okay. We're just going to do it here, but more in a technical way where we have way more access to it. So we're going to do the same thing here that we did with the GUI, but I mean, although this is a GUI too, we're going to do the same thing here, just different ways. We're going to click Manage User Profiles, right? We're going to manage Sally's profile. Okay, and then we're going to search for Sally here, Sally Mo. I typed in Salmo. Let's see if anything comes up. Sure enough, you can make a mistake, and that's okay. And here's our Sally. So we're going to click on her, and we're going to expand here. We're going to click on the little drop-down arrow for Sally. You see here, that's her ID and all of that, preferred name. We're going to do a little drop-down arrow, and then we're going to manage. Again, we're going to manage personal site here. And I know there's a lot of steps here, but just keep thinking manage, because you have full management control, if you will, of Office or Microsoft 365 Center. So we're going to keep managing and managing. And here's our specific settings to her OneDrive. It says here OneDrive, and because OneDrive stores everything here that's in for Sally, right? And although we clicked manage personal site, her personal site, if she has one, is going to be all stored on OneDrive. Everything is in OneDrive. Okay, and now we can see the only indicator here that we have is that it's Sally's, where it says here about Sally Mo. We know it's for her for sure. No other things indicate that this is for Sally, but we know it is. So we're going to look for recycle bin, and then here it is, site collection administration, and under that there is recycle bin. Okay, now we have access to her recycle bin. We're going to click on it. And here's our file, guys. We can simply select it now, and then we can click restore, and then we can immediately go back to her my files in OneDrive, and without even refreshing, it came back up. Okay, here it is. We restored it for her just like that. Very easy to follow, right? So let's see if there's anything now in recycle bin. There it is. There's still a copy of it that didn't refresh. And that's when we hit F5 and it kind of restored it back up. And that's fine. Now let's go ahead and delete it again. But we're going to delete it even further. We're going to permanently delete it, quote unquote, permanently delete it from her recycle bin. But that's not what's going on. So we're going to delete it again. Yes. And then let's say she goes in recycle bin. And let me just do F5 here again. Come on. Come on. Come on. We just did it. Come on. It's so funny because it was instant over there, but in some cases it's not wanting to be instant. That's fine. Let me see if I go back here. I know I deleted it, guys. Come on. Delete. Oh, this is what's going on. I messed up. It was already open somewhere else. That's fine. Okay, now it's deleted. That's my fault. I fully accept the fault for that. All right, F5. Now there it is. So let's see. She clicks empty recycle bin because she wants to make space on her OneDrive, right? You have to empty recycle bin to make that space. So she does this. And then now what? Now it's gone. And then she calls again. And then you're like, okay, no problem. I'm going to look at your, I'm going to look at your recycle bin. So we go back here. Here we are again about Sally Moe. We're administering her site, as in, her OneDrive. We're going to click on recycle bin. And there's not going to be anything in there because she permanently deleted it, quote unquote. It's not permanently deleted, but she emptied her recycle bin. It's not there. Luckily, we can still help her recover this because there's always going to be a copy of it. And that is in second stage recycle bin, which is under her drive. So we're going to have to navigate her through this, unfortunately, or take control of her computer and just do it for her, with some kind of remote desktop software. And so, self-explanatory kind of. It's going to be second stage inception recycle bin. And here it is. Now, if we empty this one, then it will be permanent. You can see it says, this will be, permanent. It will tell me, but that's okay. We're not going to do that because I don't feel like creating this again to prove the point. So we're going to restore it. So when we click the restore, now it's no longer in second stage recycle bin nor in the regular recycle bin. So if we go back to our files, we've restored it, and there it is. And there you have it, guys. That's how you restore files in Office 365 as well as locally on your computer. So I'm going to add internal note. I'm going to say restored users file. Irvin. Now the example I may have showed you may have not been exactly for Mike, and I apologize for that, but I showed you how to do it. So whether it's Mike or somebody else, it's done the same way.